festive atmosphere from Millville, Minnesota. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Marty Reed ready for round 10 of motocross action. The fans also remembering one of their own, Donnie Schmidt, who passed away last January. Donnie winning back-to-back nationals here in 1987 and 1988. Great fans in this area, David.
Sure are. They've got better viewing of the racetrack this year. The promoter cleared trees off some of the hillsides so they can see the track.
Trouble in the Kawasaki camp. Earlier, Marty Reed caught up with Roy Turner.
Probably the most stunning news in 125 is what happened before the race actually started. Damon Huffman did not qualify. I'm with Roy Turner, team manager Kawasaki. Something mechanical. Do you know what it was?
Well, we're still searching right now. We're not sure. We had right at the end of the second practice, we had a problem with the thing running, just missing and kind of farting and popping. And we pulled it in and we changed everything and we thought we had it solved. And he went out for the first qualifier and he had the same problem. So he came in at the end of the first lap and then we changed even the motor, which we didn't really feel it was, but we changed that and we changed every single part that has anything to do with the running condition at all. And he went out in the constant and he had the same problem again. So right now we're at a loss. We have no idea what it is.
This has got to be so disappointing because just before you went out for qualifying, we had talked about how you felt like you were back on your form after last week at Troy.
Yeah, really. Last week was great, and even I felt really good on Friday here. So, you know, it's just amazing. It's really disappointing for us and the whole team, but, you know, there's just not enough time in between qualifiers to change everything. So, you know, that's what happened.
We'll see you in Washougal.
I'll be there.
Somebody said that you sort of twisted your back a little bit. You okay?
I got off pretty hard Friday, and my back was hurting really bad. And I just took it real easy Saturday, and I had a little crick in my neck, but, you know, no complaints. I'm just going to go out there and ride the best I can. It didn't bother me today in practice at all.
Thanks, Marty. Art Ekman and David Bailey here. David, we have to go way back. I mean way back, early in your career before we find a time that you failed to qualify, and I can imagine it must have been a bummer.
I was disappointed. I had bolted my bike to my mom's car, the bumper.
What?
And
no trailer?
No trailer. I was a privateer at the time, and I had to get to the race however I could. So I took the front wheel off and bolted the forks with the axle to the bumper, and the rear wheel just tracked on the ground with no chain, and I didn't even wear out the tire. It was kind of funny. And then in my qualifier, I was leading it, and a guy crashed on another portion of the racetrack. The bike came through the fence and took me out, and I had to watch the rest of the day.
Of course, Steve Lampson doesn't have to worry about qualifying. Anybody in the top 10 doesn't have to go through that process. As we take a look at the Suzuki point standing, Steve Lampson with a 108-point lead. The real battle between teammates for second place.
Well, Wyndham has battled his way up into second place, past his teammate, only by 2 points, though. And Dowd has won here before on this racetrack, and after last week's performance in 8th and a 10th, he's probably a little angry, and I think that's what he needs.
The 125's out on their parade lap right now. This is a fascinating track. All kinds of elements, David Bailey, as we take a look at the Suzuki track map.
First of all, it's one of the longer starts with a very fast sweeping right-hand first turn. And as they work their way towards the right of your screen, the roughest section on this track, the sand whoop section, then they work their way uphill and get into some of the harder pack sections before working their way back to the finish.
There you see Kevin Wyndham, number 38. Number 26, Scott Sheik, who's been talking with the Honda crew.
Yeah, he has. Rumor is that he's going to sign with Honda, but hasn't been confirmed yet.
We're set for Moto 1 now. The 125s to get the afternoon of racing underway. Little squirrely in the middle right there. Antonez on the inside, but he backs off. Michael Craig, number 17, will get the lead. Antonez, number 22. A great start, David.
There's a lot of privateers up to this time. Look at Kevin Wyndham blazing around the outside. Looked like Antonez had the whole shot, but he backed off a little soon, and it really cost him in that fast first corner.
Lampson, number 1, in great position. We've got Craig, Lampson, and Wyndham in that order. 3 very fast riders up front.
I think who really came out smelling like a rose is Wyndham. It didn't seem like he had a very good start in the first corner, but he did the right things in that long straightaway already into third.
Michael Craig, always known for his speed, the Honda of Troy rider, as Steve Lampson gets by him, though, here in the first lap. Lammy, when he gets out in front in the first lap, look out.
Well, that's what's been happening lately. Craig looked like he gave it all he had through that whoop section. Looked like he was going to loop out, but he got to keep the front end out of those deep holes.
Kevin Wyndham winning the $500 from Honda of Troy last week for running the fastest moto, but we really have never seen Wyndham and Lampson battle it out together. This might be the opportunity we've been waiting for, David.
We're going to get to now. Craig's maybe the spoiler, though. He's in the way right now. If Wyndham can move around, we're going to see a duel.
You give Lamson any breathing room, and he's just taken off this year. It's Lammy with Michael Craig right on his back tire.
I would expect Craig to stay there for a few laps. Craig's fast. The only place where Craig has a weakness compared to Lamson is just being able to do this consistently. And when he does get a good start run up front, towards the end of the moto, he starts to fade just a little bit. And it's not because of a lack of speed. It's a lack of the ability to concentrate at that pace for 30 minutes.
The last time Craig got a hole shot was at Mount Morris, and he ended up in second place in that moto.
It's probably the one moto where he's like, man, why did Sheik have to have a moto in his life? I could have picked one up right there.
That's true.
Once it started drizzling a little bit, which it has threatened to do here today, Sheik really took off. He's a little more experienced in the rain.
Steve Lamson, our leader. And we'll be back with more action as it's Lamson, Craig, Wyndham, our top three. Mike Brown moving into the top five.
First. Second, bad taco. First. No one in Supercross history has ever had a more perfect season. Honda's Jeremy McGrath, 4-time Supercross champion.
Coverage of AMA Motocross is being brought to you by the reigning Supercross 125 and 250 outdoor champions, Honda. Come ride with us. First Moto 125 action. You see Michael Craig in second place. Kevin Wyndham in back of him, and Steve Lamson during our commercial break got even further out in front.
There you see, he just went by the start-finish area. It's starting to open up a little bit of a lead, and I think Wyndham has the pace, or at least he's proven it in the second motos a lot of times this year, to be as fast or faster than Lamson, but until he can get around Craig right here, he won't have a chance to see what Lamson's doing out there.
And once again, we have to take under consideration that Wyndham has not seen or not ridden a lot on these tracks.
This is another one that he's going to have to learn a little bit. Craig and Lamson, all the guys around him have ridden here before. They know where the hot lines are.
Here comes Wyndham in a section that is very difficult. I love to watch this section.
And Wyndham came in there the way you're supposed to. You got to go in there fast in order to maintain your momentum and stay on tops of the bumps. However, that's the real key. You got to tell yourself, all right, I'm going to go in there a gear higher, and that section gets busy when you start going through there a lot faster. And if you make a mistake, you can go down.
Pull that front wheel up and zip it by. Otherwise, that sand will just gobble you up. Okay, Kevin Wyndham now in second place. He's got the time possibly to catch Lamson if Lamson should falter. Mike Brown moving in. And there's Tim Ferry, number 20.
All the guys have a little different idea of how to get through that section. And the way the bumps are in the very beginning, you get thrown a little differently, and your timing is very crucial to get through that entire section fast. Saw Ferry get a little hop before he entered the section right here, skimming the top. Ferry should know how to ride through here. He's a good sand rider.
He's proven that in races in his native Florida like Daytona.
Yeah, anytime you come from Florida, Swink's another one. He rides in this kind of soil. He's got some hard pack sections too, but it's mostly sand, a lot of whoop-de-doos, and they get good timing and understand how to keep the front end light in those conditions.
Ferry gunning for fourth. Mike Brown, currently of Honda of Troy, holding it down. Ferry goes in. Oh, a little rub action right there, but Ferry gets through it. As we've said on the past two telecasts, this guy has turned on the aggression.
When he's on, he does a lot of things right. The lines that he chooses, he gets aggressive, gets in there and bumps him around. That's what you got to do. It's going to be tough to get around Mike Brown. If he hadn't made that move, he may have followed him another 2 or 3 laps. And that could be costly.
After a 10th and a 12th at Budds Creek and Southwick, he had a 2nd, a 4th, and a 6th coming into this race.
Brown's going to hang on to him. Brown's had his share of injuries this year. It's tough to ride that way, but he's toughed it out a few times, riding with the sore thumb and wrist. Doing a pretty good job here.
Here's John Dowd in pursuit of Buddy Antonez, the privateer number 22.
Nice rhythm right there by Dowd. Use that little bump to hop onto that sort of like a little mini plateau there and keep flat through this section. As soon as you get dropped down into one of those holes and start that up and down motion, you lose all your forward momentum.
In 7th place here, he won a 250 moto here last year. After crashing in the first moto, he ran down Emig for the victory.
Now, he likes this track. It's obviously comfortable here. He won this race, the 250 class, in 1994. after he picked up the factory ride of Mike Craig. Comfortable on that motorcycle, had a few chances to ride it, and then he won his second 250 National here.
Looking to get back into second in points in pursuit of Bunny Antunez. Antunez has not let people off the hook very easily, but gives just enough room in that corner. That's a good passing corner, we found out already.
Well, he left the door a lot wider open than Mike Brown did for Tim Ferry, and Dowd just did the smart thing, took the inside.
Dowdy with a pretty good year. Twice this year, though, he's hit a down rider at Gainesville, and he finished 34th in the moto. And Southwick, he finished 35th in the moto after running into Riley Raynor's downed bike.
That was a real disappointment, because if any place on the season where you could predict a win for John Dowd, it would be Southwick. And it seemed like he was well on his way to a good enough moto finish to pick up the overall, and then that happened.
And he came right back at the second moto and just cleaned their clock.
He wanted to prove it.
Yeah, the Millville Whoop Monster. Must be the groundskeeper for those nasties, those sand whoops. I don't know, though. Who sponsors him? They need to put in a little more cash. Steve Lapson and Wyndham out in front. We'll be back. Welcome back. We are in round 10 of AMA Motocross action from Spring Creek Motocross Park. And our leader here in the first moto of the 125s is Steve Lamson. Lammy has had his share of wins this year, don't you think? He's won 10 motos and 18 total motos, 7 overalls out of 9 races.
Well, I think he should share a little bit. That's no fair.
I don't recall you sharing too many races, David Bailey.
No. You know, it's different when you're watching. You want to see a good race. But when I was racing, I wanted to win by a minute if I could. I didn't want to even have any pressure. It was a little more gratifying to win a tight battle when the crowd's into it. But
well, that's the same feeling this man has right here as the Suzuki stopwatch starts ticking away. While we were in commercial, a bobble by Wyndham allowed Michael Craig to move into second place. And so that's the second place rider we're waiting for to see what the interval might be. In fact, let's take it all the way back. It's about 17 seconds.
Yeah, Lamson's got a huge lead over Craig. Here comes Wyndham now, 21 seconds back. So he's still got second place within his grasp, but the thought of catching Lamson at this point in the moto, the way Lamson's riding, seems unlikely.
Marty Reed's making his way in the mechanics area now to find out more about the Michael Craig situation.
Well, Dean, some days you get the bear and some days the bear gets you. Right now, it looks like you got the bear.
Yeah, it looks like we might benefit from a mistake in the back section from Wyndham, and that would put us in a pretty good spot if we can hang on to second for the overall. So
we got less than 10 minutes to go. Can he hold on to second place?
Oh, yeah, I think he can. We got a little bit of a cushion over Wyndham, some lappers in between, and heck, we'll have to just wait and see.
Rejoining the action here with the 125s, moto number 1, Kevin Wyndham trying to weed his way up past some lappers right now. Kevin's not 100% either.
No, and the fact that he made a mistake, we're not sure how serious it was, whether he went down or not. That could have re-injured his back, which he said didn't bother him in practice, but here we are deep into a 30-minute moto and unaware of what really went on with him. So it's hard to tell from the mechanics area or from the camera whether he's suffering or not.
It'll be interesting because Dowd and Ferry are behind Wyndham as we take a look at our leaderboard. Steve Lapson still way out in front. Oh, going down is Tracy Backman. Number 805, the Whoops Monster got him.
Yeah, he almost hit the swamp thing or whatever they call it. I'd like to wear that all day.
Oh, that'd be brutal out there, wouldn't it? But we got a nice wind coming up there as we see Dowdy coming around the tree and through the sand.
Again, look at the beating he's taking. He almost got together with that lapped rider. Now the Whoop Monster is trying to encourage this guy to get up a little quicker. There's going to be a lot of guys going down there today. It's always a tough section. When you start to get tired, you really pay the price through there.
Dowd in 5th place. And it's Mike Brown giving him a little havoc from behind right there, the Honda of Troy rider. You get the feeling, David, he's slowing down a bit. Let's go to Marty Reed for an update.
Just when things were looking to be going better for John Dowd, he came by here and he was motioning with his left wrist like something was wrong with the clutch. Have to keep an eye on it, see if he can hold on to position.
Well, he's in 5th right now, but Brown is threatening. Brown coming off a slight injury. He had to ride last week with an extremely sore thumb. He fell in practice and got the thumb caught between a chain and the sprocket on Damon Huffman's bike.
Well, he had to pull off in the first moto.
Then he came back strong in the second, though,
Yeah,
didn't he?
I think it had too good of a start. It was just too hard to pull off while he was running up front like that. But, you know, I mean, that kind of an injury doesn't heal in 1 week. So how much riding he was able to do to get prepared for this, I don't know. Probably not very much. Right here, he's doing the right thing. Apparently there's something wrong with Dowd, or at least he senses it. He's keeping the pressure on.
The battle in the race right now is forming for third place as Kevin Windham is feeling some pressure right now from number 20, Team Suzuki's Tim Ferry.
Well, there's a couple things going on here. One is Ferry's riding pretty good. He's working his way up, hasn't given up. And Windham had a great start. He was right in contact with Lamson and Craig in the opening laps. Made a mistake, and ever since it just faded. So it looks like to me he's trying to save some energy for the next moto, and in doing so he's allowed Ferry to catch up.
Ferry catching a toe there for a while.
You can see they thinned out the hillsides there in terms of the trees, so the spectators here, which is the biggest crowd they've ever had, has a better viewing of the track.
About a 4-second difference between third and fourth there, as Mike Brown has gotten around Dowd.
That's a bummer. Only 2 laps to go, and Dowd was doing all that he could. I'm trying to see, I've noticed in a couple of shots, he doesn't have his hand on the clutch. Most of these guys you'll notice ride with a finger or two out there on the clutch at all times. And if that's not working, why even put your fingers out there? So that could be.
Well, just add another one to the long list of problems for him during the season. Earlier, John Dowd filled Marty in on his confidence level.
I hate to bring this up, and I know you don't want to really talk about this, but you slipped a third. You've slipped a third in the points, and it looks like you're struggling a little.
Yeah, I don't know what happened last week. I was kind of sick. I got some kind of flu, you know, the week before Ohio, and I didn't get to ride or train really at all during the week and stuff. And I kind of was surprised how much it affected me. I just kind of rode terrible all day long. You know, I didn't have a lot of energy, and on top of all that, I just rode, you know, terrible. I guess, you know, psychologically, whatever, my confidence was down going into the whole day. So I don't know. I gotta try to get over that now and get back on track there where I was before.
Do you find yourself saying, oh, only 4 more races to go? Or do you find yourself saying, I got 4 races left to really charge after this?
Yeah, I don't really know what I'm saying. It's kind of weird. It seems like the season is coming to an end, but I'm kind of bummed out. You know, I was looking forward to, you know, maybe winning a race or a couple races throughout the season, and that hasn't really happened yet. I've been close a few times, you know, but that's the only thing that's bumming me out. I got 4 races left to do it, and you know, I'm going to really try hard to try to get one win under my belt, or even more by the end of the season.
Well, this would be a good place for him to try to get over that little slump, and he's won here before. He should be comfortable on this racetrack, and now that he's got his stuff together, it seems as though that he may be having problems with the bike. So more problems for Dowd.
We got a good look at Michael Craig in second place, still a long way away from our leader, Steve Lamson. We'll be back with the chase to the checkers in a moment. Winding down, moto number 1. In the 125 action, it is Michael Craig in second place. Final lap, the white flag is out. Steve Lamson is long gone by that white flag by now.
That's true. However, Mike Craig has ridden a great race. Looks to me like he's saving a little bit of energy. He's still riding aggressive, but he's sitting down a little bit more than he would on some of these rougher sections. And he's done a good job. He's opened up. He's stayed with Lamson for a long time. That opened up a big lead over the rest of the field. He still maintains a good advantage over Windham.
Put himself in good position for his finest finish of the year. He's had 3 fifth-place overalls so far this season. Of course, no one has put it together like Steve Lamson in the 125s this year.
He's starting to have fun. As he came over that jump before he headed up the hill, he kind of threw it sideways a little bit. Starting to feel that flow. Everything's clicking for him. See if he can get the second moto dialed in. He's been a little inconsistent lately in terms of both motos.
David, we're used to Jeremy McGrath's dominating statistics, but Steve Lamson has been almost more impressive in his particular division.
He has been dominant. 7 out of 9 overalls. Looks like he may be heading for his 8th overall win, which is just amazing. I mean, there's a lot of competition in this 125 class. It's not thin by any means, and Steve has just dominated it week after week.
Of course, when you talk about domination, you got to talk about a guy named David Bailey, who back in 1984, which is quite a while ago, I know a lot of people out there probably weren't born yet, but the 500 Nationals, you won the first 8 events of the season.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. I wish I would have kept my head together and tried to win the last 2. That would be a record that still stands. 8 Nationals in a row. I'm tied with Hannah and Barnett. They each had the same thing, but for one reason or another, we couldn't get the last 2.
Glover winning the last 2 events, but you won the title by 45 points. Here's the checkers for Steve Lamson, moto number 1. Lammy, Craig will come in second with Kevin Windham in third, Tim Ferry a fourth, and a fine 5th for Mike Brown. Here's rounding out the top 10, Chad Pedersen, the fine privateer in 9th place. And Marty's with our winner.
Well, I got to tell you, I know it's a lot of hard work for you, but it looked like an easy afternoon drive.
It's never easy, but it makes it a little bit easier when you get out in front like that and just ride your own good pace, and that's what I did. I just rode a good fast pace the whole way.
Yeah, but nobody threatened you at any point.
Yeah, I got out there, sprinted them first few laps to get a little gap, and then just keep a good pace. My bike's working great, and can't say anything more, man.
Well, another victory and one more moto to go. And obviously you're not going to change anything unless it rains.
No, my mechanic just asked me before he went back, "Do you want me to change anything?" I'm all, "Nope, just leave everything how it is. It's great."
We'll see you then.
Thank you.
Michael Craig equaling his whole shot. 2nd place finish that he got back in Mount Morris. Let's go back to Marty.
This is the best finish you've had since Mount Morris when you had a 2nd place at the moto there. Take us through the ride because you looked good and strong.
Yeah, you know, the first half, I rode really smart, really fast. I made a mistake, and Kevin got by me, but I know that he runs with Lamson, so I said, hey, let him try to catch Lamson and see if I can hang with Windham. And I stayed with Windham for a while, and I kind of went, whoa, you know, let's get going so I can get in the second. He made a little bobble, fell over, but this track is just, I don't know how to say. Somebody has to come out here and look at it, just tell you how gnarly it is. The whoops in the back are just, every lap you're going through it, trying to stay up.
This will probably not be one of Kevin Windham's favorite races to look back on, but let's go to Marty and check out and see what happened on the backside.
All right, I guess the first thing I got to ask is what happened when you went down?
There was a lapper out there on the outside the berm, and I kind of got on the brakes, and I just misjudged it. You know, it was in the line I've been running, and I thought I had time to run it, you know, and whenever they flag them off, they normally go to the side, and I guess I wasn't thinking, you know, it was more my fault. He just pulled over and stopped, and it happened to be right in my line, so not much I could do.
Well, it just puts a little bit extra pressure on that second motor. Somebody's got to find a way to stop Lamson. Can anybody do it?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take a better ride than what I just put out. You know, I was riding a little tight, and, you know, I guess he's got all this confidence from winning race after race, so it's going to take a little better ride than what I did just there, but, yeah, it can definitely be done.
Yeah, but you've always been stronger in that second moto the last 3 races.
Yeah, I've really been working hard as far as my endurance, you know, just because I'm having bad motos, you know, I don't want anybody to think I don't want it and I'm not out there trying because, you know, as a few of my second motos have said, you know, with ones I've definitely been out there doing as much work as anybody.
We'll see you then.
Thanks a lot.
The heir apparent learning his lessons. The crews go to work. We'll be back with moto number 2 in a moment. The stare of Buddy Antonez as we get set for our second 125 moto here at Millville, Minnesota. There you see Michael Craig busy taking care of his small chores. Mike Brown next to him. John Dowd and Kevin Windham, of course, still in a real battle royal for second place. And Marty talked with Windham about the teammate rivalry.
You've moved into second place past your teammate, John Dowd. Have a similar situation in 250s where teammates are battling each other for points positions. What's going to happen out there if you two come together on the track?
Just, you know, racing's racing. You know, I guess on the track, you know, everybody's out there to win, and you know, I'm not out there to make any dirty moves on any of them. You know, it doesn't play a factor that he's on the team. You know, and when we get back to the track, we still talk about lines, and you know, me and John are good friends, so you know, he's just another competitor when he's out there. But you know, as soon as we get in the truck, he's you know, best of friends.
And I don't think at this point they're getting any team orders to be careful with each other on the racetrack. Just race, go for it, try to get some overall wins. If they were closer to Lamson, if he didn't have that billion-point lead, the team orders may be a little bit different. And look at that rear tire on Lamson's bike. Almost looks like a paddle tire. Looks like it would tear up the street. The track here, about 80% sand. So they got a lot of space between the knobs.
Okay, we are ready and we are off in moto number 2. Let's see who will get the whole shot this time. And it looks like Robbie Raynard on the inside is down. Bumps on the outside. Raynard, number 14. And Dowdy is in second place. Looks like Chad Pedersen in third.
That was scary for a moment there. Dowd and Pedersen getting together in like fourth gear, going 50 miles an hour through that sweeper. Both of them stayed up. Remember Dowd last year here went down in the first moto early in the start. Cost him big. Took out Emick too, so off to a much better start here. Raynard last year, both motos he won by a mile, and it looks like he's got a great opportunity to capture another one here.
It's good to see him up and running right now in the Primal Honda. Raynard's had all kinds of bad luck this year. Look at how he picks that front wheel up going through the sandy areas. But he just dominated this race last year. No one else stood a chance. Hughes was in second way back in last year's 125 affair.
You can see they've worked the track over a little bit here and there. They've watered it. See the dozer sitting off the side. They've smoothed out a few sections. I think in an effort to create more passing zones, you just got a glimpse of Lamson coming through there. Not a very good start for him. So once again, a bad second moto start is going to force him to come from behind.
You know, David, it's almost like, hey, the first moto, I'm going to go out there and win it, and then kind of take it easy. Then he gets that inspiration back when he sees so many bikes in front of him.
Well, you get the first moto in the books and you win it. You get to relax between motos. You get plenty of confidence. You know you're the fastest, and maybe he relaxes a little bit too much before the second moto. A little overconfidence, or thinking that his job is half done. He doesn't come out hungry enough.
Well, he is able to come up through the pack. He's proved that in the past, though, as far as the overall situation is concerned. Raynard in the first moto was an 11th, so he is out of the picture, really, for the overall. Dowd in second place. Pedersen, the Pro Circuit rider, still in third. He was Privateer of the Year last year in the 125s. There's Pedersen 21. 34, Ezra Lusk. We haven't seen him in quite a while. And Wyndham is hounding Lusk.
Wyndham has a chance right here if things work out right behind him. If he can get up there into the lead, maybe pick up a steal and overall win away from Lamson, who's still quite a few positions further back.
End of the first lap. John Dowd in good position. Cliff White at the bottom of your screen right there. You think he had something to do with the whole shot of Robbie Raynard? He's the master engine builder there at Honda.
Well, that just could be. He's responsible for getting all the horsepower out of these 125s and waving Robbie on. They all want to see him do good. I mean, it's a shame that he's gotten hurt so many times, but he's still young and he's fast.
Mike Brown holding true with Kevin Wyndham. Mike Brown, number 9. Brownie's looking good.
Moves by Wyndham as they enter that loop section. It's the guy with the most nerve coming into that section, because if he let off, you just suffer all the way through that deep sand.
Here's a chance for a very fine overall after a 5th place finish in the first moto. Ezra Lusk staying upright and on the move. Number 34, Brown's next target.
After such a successful season indoors, winding out third on the 250, I thought jumping back into the 125 he'd be able to muscle that thing around, and it's just been inconsistent, had some bad luck, some nagging injury stuff, but it's really been a disappointment, I think, for Suzuki in the 125s.
Chad Pedersen in 3rd place, Lusk in 4th. Pedersen this year has had a 2nd place moto. That was back in Buchanan, Michigan. And his best overall was Budds Creek, a 5th place finish.
Look at that cluster of riders behind Chad Pedersen right there. As Pedersen came off that drop away, he went way out to the outside to look for a smooth line and maintain his momentum, rolling into that berm, and wind's starting to pick up a little bit here too. So that's going to affect him on some of the jumps.
Ezra Lusk, number 34. Kevin Wyndham, number 38. 2 more riders back. We've got Steve Lamson. Lammy's made his way. Whoa! Tim Ferry has pulled off into the mechanics area and even threw the goggles to the fans. So that's a pretty good sign that it's over.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong, but he's definitely not going to continue.
Let's go to Marty.
Lee, what's wrong? What put him out?
Front flat tire.
Tough break.
Yep.
That's one of those times that Lee just can't say truly what's on his mind on television. Robbie Raynard, a refreshing leader here in the 125 second moto. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Millville, moto number 2 of the 125s. Robbie Raynard is our leader with John Dowd in 2nd place as we go back to see some of the heavy infighting in the pack. Kevin Wyndham trying to get back up near the front in a battle with Ezra Lusk, number 34.
That was close, too. He came in there and had to lock it up. You see his front tire just barely missed the rear tire of Lusk. If he'd have hit him, he'd have high-sided and gone down. Trying to get Show him a wheel and keep the pressure on him, though. That's how you force a mistake.
Wyndham to the outside, and he's got the acceleration. He gets in front of Ezra Lusk to take the extra spot. Chad Pedersen is next in his sights there. You can see it in the bright green bike.
That's a great pass Wyndham made on Lusk. He should go through that corner that fast every lap. He almost couldn't make the next one. He went in there so hot. But he's still got a good pace going.
David, when you think of Millville, at least I don't think of rocks and conditions that would flatten tires like we saw with Tim Ferry.
No, you wouldn't think so, but I remember racing a 500 National here one year, and I was kind of nursing a wrist injury. Just trying to do all I had to do to win, no more. And JoJo Keller was giving me a run for my money, and in the final lap he had a flat tire, which pretty much made it a lot easier for me to win.
Yeah, good race.
He had a front flat tire, and he crashed twice in the final lap, so it can happen.
Okay, the defending champion is on the move. He's up to 6th place right now. He's got Ezra Lusk right in his sights, and then Kevin Wyndham in front of him. So it's a fast group here.
It is a fast group, and at the tail end of it is Mike Brown, who's just peeking into the camera. There you see him. Lamson with that fast line around the outside right there. You got to make a little sharper corner when you get to the end, but it's a lot faster all the way down the straightaway.
Lammy, winner of 11 out of 19 motos this year, is taking on Ezra Lusk. Tries to squeeze that front tire in front as they go into the sand. Boy, that's a vicious area.
Looked like Lamson had a run on him as they started in. He cut to the inside, just held it wide open, used his strength. Look at him hop over the bumps there. Lamson's getting through those whoops fast, but I think Lusk is taking the line he'd rather be in, so unable to make the pass there.
Lamson looking for at least a 5th place, because that would put him in the overall class, because John Dowd in 2nd place. Should he win this moto, he would have to match it up with a 6th place finish in moto number 1. Robbie Raynard, as we mentioned prior, really doesn't have a chance for the overall with that 11th place finish in moto 1. But it's Raynard out in front, and the defending champion trying to recover from a poor start.
There's a tough section right here. The Lamson wide open. That just falls away from you off camber, and the fact that these guys are able to hold it wide open through there is pretty amazing. A little easier to do on a 125.
Looking a little slicker. And the ruts forming big time in the curves. There's Jeff Stanton cheering the Honda riders on.
The guy is everywhere. And the next shot, he'll be over by the sand whoops.
He'll run across the track to check it out, huh?
Well, he's doing his job. I haven't seen anybody after their career really dive into their work like Jeff has. He's really made a big difference at Team Honda.
That was Chad Pedersen's mechanic saying, focus ahead. Don't worry about the riders behind you. He's only got Wyndham, Lamson, some of the big guns of this game. Then they'll be breathing down his neck here pretty soon.
Yeah, don't worry about that gun pointed at your head. Gee, the best riders in this class are breathing down his neck, but that's the best advice. Focus ahead. Look at that.
Oh! Ezra Lusk toppling over. Looked like he might have brushed with Steve Lamson.
Yeah, I think he came into that corner and just, he should have stayed leaned in. He leaned up too straight, hit the back tire of Lamson high-sided. So, you know, think about Pedersen out there. I mean, that could have happened to Lamson or anybody else. So there goes back to that advice. Focus ahead, because you never know what's going to happen behind you.
Kevin Wyndham and Steve Lamson in pursuit of number 21, Chad Pedersen.
That was that section before where Pedersen was going way wide into that corner. A little smarter this time not to leave the door open because he's got the 2 fastest guys.
Oh, what a cut inside. Steve Lamson and Kevin Wyndham going at it. What a battle.
Lamson just saying, no, they're not going to give you any room right here. Watch Lamson. He'll try to square this corner, and he gets in this berm a little wrong. Gets real sideways. Did a nice job of saving it, but he lost all his momentum. Look at Wyndham. Comes down the outside. I don't think it's a good idea for him to try to make a pass on Lamson right there on the outside. Lamson took him all the way to the tires, and Stanton saw the whole thing. He's radioing it back to the pit.
For those of you just tuning in, you haven't seen or heard from number 10, Damon Huffman. That's because he did not qualify for this race. He had a mechanical problem during qualifying. He missed 5 events with a knee injury this year. And then at Troy, he looked like the Damon Huffman of old with a 3-2, a 3rd place finish. But he couldn't get that bike to run the way he needed to qualify for this race. Right here's Chad Pedersen. And Lamson is not far behind. Marty Reed's with Pedersen's mechanic in the mechanics area.
David, he's got a good run going, but now he's got Lamson closing.
Yeah, he's catching him pretty quick, but hopefully he can stay in front of him.
We still got a little over 18 minutes in this moto. Seriously, do you think he can hold Lamson off?
I don't know. It's contract time. Anything can happen.
It's a good thing you don't have rearview mirrors, right?
Yeah.
He might know something we don't, David.
Well, he kind of indicated that, you know, that if Chad gets on the gas here, he'll have a contract. If not, maybe that'll be in question.
There was a confrontation like this between these same two riders at Buchanan when Lamson put a wheel in front. Pedersen got the betterment of the contact and later took second place in that race. Lammy going down. It's a real battle right now. Steve Lamson and Chad Pedersen. Lamson, he makes it out in front of Chad.
Lamson is unbelievable through that move section. He's so fast through there. He didn't go through the first one all that fast. All he did was stay close enough to make his pass, but coming back the other way, he was wide open. Didn't even have to let off for the corner.
So Steve Lamson has got this overall nailed down if he can just hold that position. As we look at our Suzuki Field summary, we just might give you a look at Robbie Raynard when we come back. We are back. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Marty Reed. Round 10 of motocross action from Millville, Minnesota. And this is our leader, number 14, Robbie Raynard. He's just been trucking away.
Well, we haven't got to see a whole lot of him because he's been gone. Look how slick it was coming out of that berm. It looks like they're digging down to plywood like they do in the Supercross. Get down to that hard surface. But watching Robbie Raynard go fast is like, you know, watching wet paint dry. The guy makes it look so easy. It's hard to believe that he's really doing anything out there, but one thing he's doing is going fast. How much momentum he carried around that corner is amazing. Nice timing through there. You see he landed. He used that bump to jump up on the top of the other one. Making time everywhere. He's got this track dialed in.
John Dowd is in second position. There's Chad Pedersen, followed by Kevin Windham.
Pedersen working his way up to the top of this racetrack. Starts to get hard packed there. He pre-jumps the top of that. Got to get on the ground a little sooner and get the horsepower back to the ground. Lamson had a much worse start than Kevin Windham. Just rode right around him. Now Wyndham's looking back, elected not to go for that double, so something could be wrong with him.
You know, we were asking before this race started to see more matchups between Kevin Windham and Steve Lamson, but Lamson has been able to just breeze by him. In fact, now Kevin Windham is having his problems holding his own against Mike Brown.
Yeah, something's gone wrong with Windham today, and I don't know if he's tired or what's going on, but definitely.
Could it be something with the bike, David?
Well, I'm looking at the tires. They look okay.
Let's go down to Marty.
Allie, he's falling back. What's happening?
He's got a rear flat.
Oh, we didn't see it when it went by. That's a shame.
Yeah,
He was coming on.
I didn't know what was wrong. He kept slowing down, so got a flat.
Some tracks, it's really easy to see a flat tire, but in the sand like that, it's not always. I can understand why you were wrong.
Well, I can't always be right, and shoot, Marty's got a better look at it than I do, and he couldn't see it either, but that was about all I could figure back there. That's why I made the assumption that it could be the tires, but they looked okay to me, and it's a good thing it's a rear flat. A lot easier to slide around than it is to have the front end washing out on you everywhere.
Our field summary, Robbie Raynard still our leader. He got the whole shot, and he's been there ever since. John Dowd, who's done a real nice job after clutch problems in the first moto. Here's Robbie on the Primo Honda. But Dowd is starting to pick up some time on Robbie Raynard. Raynard led a race this year, got a flat tire, and ended up back in the pack.
Well, his tire came completely off the rim. Raynard, I think it's tough to establish a pace once you're out front. You get a pretty good lead, and then you start riding a little more comfortable, and you just pace yourself. And all of a sudden, somebody like Dowd, who's tough in the end, starts to catch you.
The Suzuki stopwatch shows us about a 4-second interval between first and second. 7.1, that's not far back with time remaining.
Right, well, both these guys are pretty close to Raynard, and like I said, he probably found a comfortable pace and didn't see anybody for a while, and all of a sudden these guys pick it up, force him to pick it up. It's hard to do.
David, I'm noticing more and more as the race goes on, the riders picking the edge of the course.
They're just going anywhere they can to try to find a smooth line. The track gets rougher and rougher as the race continues. Even this berm right here he's coming into, every time he hits that berm, 39 other guys hit it before he comes around again. So the track constantly changes, and they'll go wherever they got to go to find it. You see him dancing around through there using a different line than he's been using, trying to find someplace smooth.
Robbie Raynard, our leader, looking good last week, second in Moto 1 for a 4th overall, but Dowdy's kind of starting to pull up on him now. It's good to see Raynard, though, back looking fast. Let's go to Marty.
Well, we got less than 10 minutes to go. John Dowd looks like he's closing.
He's closed the back end to 5 seconds. Robbie pulled him out to 7.5, almost 8. I don't know if he's not quite ready to make a full moto yet. I don't know, but he's trying right now.
You think it might? We've seen a lot of guys having tire problems. Have you been able to spot anything like maybe something going down on one of the tires?
I haven't seen anything, but like San Bernardino, he rode from the lead for with 2 laps with a flat. I mean, flats don't slow him down that much.
We've got a battle for the lead now, David Bailey, as Raynard will try to hold off the oncoming John Dowd. Dowd coming right up now, looking for opportunities.
Look how aggressive Dowd is into that corner, charging hard. The crowd's starting to get into it now. They want to see a battle. Raynard's been out there with a huge lead the whole moto. Lamson did that in the first moto. They want to see a battle, and they're going to get it.
Robbie Raynard just enough momentum out of that corner to hold on to the lead against the rampaging John Dowd.
Down on the factory Yamaha, seems like he would have a little bit of an advantage. Whoa.
Oh, nice and close. Raynard showed some toughness there.
Yeah, he just didn't budge. Dowd had the right idea. He beat him to the corner, he thought. Got there side by side, but Raynard just held him off.
Raynard, Dowd, Lamson, our top 3. We'll be back with the chase to the checkers in a moment. We're back, and it's getting toward the end of the second moto of 125 actions before we get into the big guys, the 250s, Jeremy McGrath versus Jeff Emig.
And look over Dowd's shoulder, and you'll see Lamson coming strong. There he is right there.
Yes.
It's become a 3-way battle. Lappers could play a big part in this. You see some in between them right there.
What a great finish to this second moto. Lamson is really riding hard, looking for second place.
Jersey even came untucked. He's dirty. The first moto he was spick and span in the interview after the race. Now he's covered with sand. He's tired. He's had to work his way up, but once again, he's done his job. He's going to get the overall no matter what and pad his points lead, but you know he wants a little more than a third.
Robbie Raynard looking for his very first moto victory. Here's Lamson and Dowd in the battle for second place. Dowdy still holding on to that second place. Oh, my goodness.
Lamson trying everything, squaring him off everywhere, using a little different line. Trying to stay out of the roost for one thing. Keep his vision clear and not have to dodge that. That hurts. That sand coming at you, it's like getting sandblasted. Even a 125 is going to spit it out at you.
Dowd just in front of Lamson. If he can hold on, that'll save him some points anyway. Lammy can't clinch the crown today.
No, but if he puts together some good finishes in the next round at Washougal, he will be able to wrap it up. And that'd be remarkable with a couple of rounds remaining. 100 points up for grabs. All he needs is 101 to lock it up.
If he should finish in third, he would have a 118-point lead going into Washougal.
He'll need to maintain at least 101 coming out of there to wrap it up. Raynard coming out of that corner just before was starting to look over his shoulder a little bit, gauging how much they're catching up. He probably didn't know Lamson was coming too. That'll make him a little more nervous.
We're on the final lap of one of the most challenging courses in AMA motocross.
Probably the good news, though, for Raynard right here towards the end is that with Lamson charging on John Dowd like this, it'll force Dowd to be a little more conservative or protect his line, and that's going to keep him from hounding Raynard.
Robbie Raynard is so close to his finest moment of the motocross season. There's the checkered flag. Dowd right on their tails, Lamson as well. One of the closest finishes we've had all year. Robbie Raynard, John Dowd, Steve Lamson, our top 3, with Mike Brown, Chad Pedersen holding on to 5th. Mike Craig slipping out of the overall scene, Buddy Antonez, the top privateer.
Well, all I can say is congratulations. First time this season after the injury, back in victory lane.
Yeah, I've been trying really hard, and first moto I got a bad start and I got tired. It made me really upset, and I just wanted to go out there and do the best I could, and I went out there and I got the whole shot, and I was just pumped from there, and I just was like, I just ride a steady pace, and my shoulder still got really tired, but I was able to hang on to it.
Your dad was wondering. He talked to us about it, and it looked like there for a spell that it might give out on you and that you might fatigue out, but boy, you came back strong at the late point.
Yeah, I noticed Dowd was gaining on me, so I just cranked it on a little bit more. Made a couple mistakes, and the lappers were going a little bit in the way, but he was riding really good. We slammed back there one lap, and that's when I really opened it up. I was like, I got to get away before we both go down and get a bad finish. So I just like opened it up and pulled a little bit of lead and got comfortable again.
Congratulations, good ride.
Thanks a lot.
Well, Steve Lamson has a chance to become the biggest 125 winner since 1978 when Brock Glover won by 110 points as he takes the overall. That's his 8th overall victory. John Dowd is 4th second place finish. Marty's with our overall winner.
Well, I just want to say thank you because for a change, at least you made it interesting.
It seems like them second motos are doing that to me lately. I think I'm jinxing the second motos, so that's the way it goes. So it made me try hard and ride hard as I could. So I'm happy with that, and I still got the overalls. So
6 in a row.
Yeah, 6 in a row. So I just hope I can you know, pick it up in a couple weeks in Washougal and you know, have a good day like this.
A common occurrence for Steve Lamson as he now has a 118-point advantage. Dowd moving back into second place. And let's get back to Marty.
I guess the first question I need to ask is, how's your confidence doing now?
Well, I feel a little better now. You know, I definitely had a rough couple of weeks coming up to this race, and you know, my confidence was kind of out the door. But I'm pretty happy if, you know, I pulled off a decent race here, and I wish the first one could have gone a little better, but at least this one, you know, this will start me on my way, hopefully.
What the guys are telling me in the headset is you're also 2nd overall.
Yeah, that's what I heard. It's kind of strange the way the points work, but I'm happy about that. Anyways, that's going to help me out with the points for sure.
Steve Lamson looking to wrap up his 2nd consecutive championship in the 125 Nationals, and of course expected to go to the 250s next year.
Well, that'll be interesting. He's definitely going to have confidence coming from this class, and there it is, the battle we were hoping to see between Lamson and Wyndham. Both motos, Wyndham had an opportunity to beat Lamson, especially in the second moto with a much better start, and Lamson proved he was better today.
Lots of learning to do. We'll be back with the 250s. Jeremy McGrath versus Jeff Emig in just a moment.